So we are just kind of adding a bit more depth, a bit more variation to this model here, and we're not being very careful with the application. We're kind of dabbing it on and seeing where that takes us. Because with this line, with the Maschinen Krieger line, there's this idea that the models, or rather the armored suits, would be like old and weathered and worn and possibly have had parts replaced over the years. So that's why I kind of want to change up the colors on some of the parts, as if they've been swapped out over the years and now they have different parts. It's kind of something I wanted to try and introduce a bit. I don't know if that's fully coming across as of yet, just because I'm using very similar tones to what has already been established. But I think what I'll do is kind of go in and some of the other parts we can kind of like, we can do that. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, we've got all the other parts here. Just gonna get some of them now. This one here is like a engine, some kind of engine thing that goes on the back of the model, and we're just gonna, actually we could probably just slap on the paint like normal. Also, let's get a paper towel, gonna need one of those. Yeah, I'd like to finish this model, these two models soon. I'm painting both at the same time just because I'm using the same color scheme for both. I like to finish them kind of soon. I don't want to rush them necessarily, but I want to wrap it up soon. They are smaller models, so I don't really feel like we need to take forever on them. And then, yeah, we'll kind of knock it out. We're just kind of knocking out these projects. And maybe the next thing I'll do is work on the next Dark Souls scene. You guys know that I've got that Dark Souls mini diorama that I'm working on. I can put out the next one. This paint here, I talked about it before. This is from, it's Vallejo Game Color. It's really, really thick. I think it's more of an effect paint that I'm kind of using for the purposes of as like a, gosh, what do I want to say? It's more of an effects paint, and I'm using it more as like a base coat, and it's not really the ideal situation for this paint. So yeah, this might be good. This is a azure. This is pale blue, azure pálido. If you speak Spanish, with my awful pronunciation. Gotta shake it up. Oh shoot. And this is the base coat that I used. I gotta get some of this as well, because I realized there's one plate that I haven't painted yet. Oh no, we've got them all. Got them all. I think this might be a good paint to use to kind of add more variation. As I was saying, this is like kind of different enough from what I'm using, and it'll kind of distinguish itself from all the others colors. So let's use that. See how we like this. Pretty sure this was a Night Trap pickup too. Sometimes we just buy paint like that's just like, hey, this looks cool, this looks weird, let's try it out. You know, we don't really have a specific use case in mind, but we just think it might be useful in the near future, so we just get it. There we go. And like I said, I want to, so for example, maybe this kneecap is different, right? Like maybe this kneecap is from a different model, not model, a different armored suit, and it's been used as a replacement. So we can color it differently, right? And we can let some of the other colors show through underneath just to kind of tie it all together. There you go. And then we can do both feet. Maybe both feet have been replaced, or just like the front cap of it, right? We can do something like that. And I don't really want to brush it on in like the typical way. I kind of want to just like dab it on, just to further create more of a modeled look, rather than just applying it really solid and opaque. This will help kind of like create a bit more interest and depth. Maybe we'll leave the one foot like this. We won't do both, and that way, again, that'll help kind of sell that feeling like it's this thing that's been cobbled together. Yeah, it's looking alright. And then yeah, for here, let's do the same thing. Let's just get like one whole leg. Let's just do the whole leg. Even the armor plating. So yeah, yesterday I was playing a new game. Just the demo came out for it. It was called Wolong Fallen Destiny, and I like it so far. The developers also made Neo 1 and 2, and I like those games. I'm also presently playing Neo 2, and yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking that game as well. So with this new game, instead of being set in Japan, right, it's set in China. And I think it was a smart move on their part not to simply reskin Neo, reskin like a Dark Souls kind of experience, and then call it a day, right? They actually went in and thought about sort of the wuxia genre, the wuxia like feeling, and they thought about how that would like complement itself. How would you best express that in a video game? And so they came up with like the whole morale system. They came up with like, instead of parrying, there's deflecting. They came up with all of this stuff to really kind of differentiate it from Neo or the Souls formula in general. And you know, I haven't finished the demo. I haven't really pushed it through its paces all that far, but from what I've seen thus far, I think is pretty nice. So yeah, I like it. Neo is so hard, not Slide. Yeah, it is pretty hard. Like, it's harder than a Souls game actually. It's harder than Elden Ring, Bloodborne in a lot of ways. And it's even harder if you've played those games. If you've played I was talking about this before, but if you've played like a Dark Souls game and suddenly you're playing Neo, you have all this mental baggage, which actually isn't very helpful to you in order to succeed in those games. You should really just throw that all out the window. I started one, I might need to restart because the Tonfa isn't easy. Yeah, Tonfa is not easy. I would just go for like the standard like sword in Neo, the really basic stuff. Because it'll see you through, and you'll kind of get you. It has like a good enough range. It's strong enough and it's fast enough. Ashwin Dam use the Tonfa? Yeah. There's actually a lot of cool weapons in Neo 2, or Neo 1 and 2. I found the claws, and I think I'm going to main claws in Neo 2 because there's a weapon skill that you can get where it's basically just the Dempsey roll from Hajime no Ippo. So I'm like, yeah, sign me up. Let's go. Eshwin, do you use a kasurigami? Which one's the kasurigami? Is that like the chain? It's like a chain weapon with like a sickle at the end of it? I actually, if that is the one, I did use that for much of my first run in Nia 1, which rhymes, bars. Yeah, I used that for a lot of Nia 1. It's pretty cool, but eventually I wanted to, I felt stuck using that, and I kind of wanted to branch out and use different things. So I felt like it didn't do enough damage. That's the one thing about it. Yeah, the thing with the sickle, yeah. Oh, Ashwin, wait, is that what Ippo Dempsey roll is from? Well, it's kind of like a twofold thing. There's an anime called Hajime no Ippo. It's a boxing anime, and the main character, his name is Ippo, and independently of on his own, he basically invents or rediscovers an old boxing technique that no one does, called the Dempsey roll. He sort of discovers it on his own, despite the fact that it's like an actual move used in actual boxing history, right? And the guy that made that move, his name is Jack Dempsey, right? And thus they named this technique after him, the Dempsey roll. So yeah, it's like both. And I think what I want to do is kind of add a bit more color, something different to these parts. It seems like it's just not different enough. I don't know. I'll think about it. Like for this gun, for example, could probably benefit from a different kind of variation, so we're gonna do that. And yeah, I'm not trying to really be precious with my application here. We kind of want to have a lot of weird stuff going on. Ashwin, I thought I really liked bread this whole time. Dempsters? That is hilarious, dude. Dempsters. Yeah, I should get like bread. A bread icon. There's a handful of people when I introduce myself, you know, if I hop onto a stream and I'll just say, hey, how's it going? There's some people that know how to say it, right? There's some people out there that know how to pronounce and say Ippo Dempsey roll, and they're kind of like Eddie's one of them, right? They were like, oh, dude, you know, like oh, I like, you know, I love your name, right? And Jose, number of people out there, but then there's some that are just like, I don't know how to say your name. How do I say your name? What is your name? There's this one of my favorite Dark Souls lore content creators, which is such a weird thing to say, but yeah, one of my favorite YouTubers that talks about Dark Souls stuff. They were like, iPod MC, iPod. I'm just gonna call you iPod. I'm like, you know what? Sure, why not? iPod. Eddie, true. True. Just call me iPod. All this time, Eshwin, bread. Do I like bread? I kind of like bread, but I don't know if I like bread enough to make it like my name and my identity. That's funny, man. That's great. Okay, so further, we're going to kind of continue this. It's kind of a slow process. It's kind of a potentially boring process, all of this stuff, but I think it's kind of like a nice relaxed thing that you can do on a Monday when you're like not feeling like you want to challenge yourself. This is a nice thing you can do. And I just want to single out some of these panels, like for example this panel here, and we want to just kind of color it a little differently, just to kind of create a bit of variation. And it's still similar enough to the rest that when you look at it from afar, it's not going to be like really jarring, like, whoa, holy, this looks so cobbled together and weird. It's just different. It's just a little bit of different parts, and we're not going to symmetrically apply it to, like, there's this on this side and then we're going to apply it to this side. No, we're not going to do that. We want to just kind of have like a bit of asymmetry to it, again, to help create that sense of variation and cobbled togetherness. Wagwan iPod. Wagwan iPod. Eddie, I don't like spaghetti. There you go, see? Who knows, all the names that we all come up with, it's just like there's never like a deeper meaning, right? It's always just like, yep, that's what we came up with. It's just how it worked out, guys. I don't really have a deeper origin story. And a group of Eddies hasn't picked yet. Keyword yet. Okay, so you know. Hope springs eternal, Eddie. Keyword. It's had a nice ring to it, yeah. It took you a little while, took a little moment to get that one. Wagwan. Okay. Let's see, what other parts can we kind of paint differently? I'm just going through my model here. Just had a nice ring to it, Eddie. Yeah, it does. It does. Sounds good. Sounds good. And also, like, with all my social media and Instagram and YouTube, all of those things I kind of just signed up for at different times in my life, and there's no consistency amongst any of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't think, oh yeah, I want this universal brand, EPO brand, and that'll be my name on all social media platforms, and it'll be congruent and what's the word I'm looking for? Marketing synergy. They'll all sort of interact with one another in a synergistic way, and will increase our clicks by tenfold. Blah blah blah. No, I just did it at, like I said, at different points in time of my life, where I was like, okay, on YouTube, I was like, let's just call my account Tricky Ray, because there's this band called Tricky Woo. And I don't even really recall that band all that much. All I remember was that there was an Asian guy in this alternative rock band. And I was like, Asian guy in rock, that's cool. That's like, I like rock music. And I'm Asian, so Tricky Ray. I'm Tricky Ray now. That's what I called myself on like YouTube so long ago. And thankfully on YouTube you don't have to type that in to find me. You can just type in like Ray Ortega or something. I don't know what it is actually. But that's how it works sometimes. It just comes from different places. And then Instagram, I was like, yeah, let's just call myself Ray O, because that's how I sign a lot of my artwork, is just Ray O. Let's go with that. By the way, Ashwin, I'm still making my way through Twin Peaks. I'm now on season 3, and I'm having a lovely time watching season 3. And so this is just about my second time watching Twin Peaks. Second or third time watching Twin Peaks season 3, that is. And the more I watch it, the more I love Dougie. Like, Dougie is the best. Dougie is so good. Dougie Jones. Twin Peaks is one of those things where it's like if you find someone that likes Twin Peaks, you're like, okay, you're part of the cool kids club. You know. they're in the know. And then if you find someone that like season 3 and Dougie, it's like, okay, you're cool. Actually, I was looking at funky shit to put in my place, and you can get a Dougie cardboard standee. That might be a little much. I think that's like beyond funky, my friend. We are getting into super funky, the super funky zone. It's nothing that you don't really know already. Like, he's not really providing anything all that insightful in a sense, but it is a big issue, and I think we're going to hear more about it as time goes on. It's crazy. It's really crazy that that it had even gotten to this point, that these leaks could come out. I think that's pretty nutty. Eshwin, they be like that, or so I hear. So when are we gonna get a cooking stream out of Eshwin? We're approaching like the holiday season. We're approaching Thanksgiving. Well, not really, but you know, we're kind of getting close to that season. When are we gonna get a cooking stream? Because I think that'll be really fun. It's gotta happen. Gotta happen. I don't really need to go over all of this stuff really carefully, because it is going to get a lot more grime. It's going to get a lot more weathering on top. So we don't really need to take too much time to kind of make it all look perfect and everything, because it's not really going to benefit the model, and we'll have to go over it again. We'll have to kind of do this process again. Kinda. Eshin, I guess, maybe at some point. Don't know how. Yeah, I don't really know how either. I just want to see it. I'm just being selfish. I just want to see it. Yeah, I guess that's something you'd have to look into on YouTube. Try and find out what kind of things you'd need. Set up. You'd have to experiment as well. I think like, yeah, if you want to kind of get into that, you might have to have a few streams where you're kind of experimenting with setting up the camera, and maybe you could cook something. Maybe you could prepare a recipe that isn't like very intensive. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, isn't really difficult to make, so you can kind of focus on the streaming aspect, and then you can kind of, you know, develop and level up, and then yeah, you can you can sort of get to a point where you're more comfortable with how the stream works and everything, and therefore work on something a little more involved. Actually, right now my expertise is in meat, and I sear it with a torch, which sets off my fire alarm. Oh no, the fire alarm. Yeah, we've had some issues with that too, with cooking the meat. So I go out the balcony, and if it's roast or steak, take it out on the grill, blah, 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 and resume prep indoors. So the setup would be hard. Yeah. So yeah, think about like the parts that would be like the most exciting to see. Would like probably be the searing part would be really exciting, and then the parts where like after it's been in the oven or whatever, like the big reveal, that would be really exciting too. So so you can kind of focus around those parts. You can focus on structuring a stream around those bits specifically, and then, you know, it's really kind of like an excuse to just chat, right? You just sort of periodically you do stuff, slam something in the oven, and then you got your timer on, and then you're kind of just chatting, right? It's really like a just chatting stream for the bulk of it, and then yeah, like a timer goes off, and then you just do what you got to do, take a look, poke around, and then get back to chatting. Kind of. I mean that's kind of like the idea that I think kind of works. I've seen some cooking streams. I don't watch it too often, but it seems to me like that's how things go. So yeah, we've I like how the color is kind of coming through now. It's kind of looking a little different. So we're gonna kind of build on that more. Let us get some new music. Okay, let's get this. Actually, you know what's weird? I smoke weed all day in my place and it never sets off the alarm. And I've been hotboxing the place for a few hours. It looks smoky as fuck in here. I guess the sensor is picking up a certain kind of smoke and not smoke that is produced by marijuana, right? I guess it's trying to look for like, yeah. I don't know specifically how the science works behind it, but I'm guessing it's looking and trying to sense something else. Not the marijuana. In the Joker voice, everyone loses their mind. Oh yeah, that actually reminds me. You mentioned Joker, and then I suddenly had the notion of Halloween float into my brain. Halloween season, spooky season's coming up. I don't know if anyone has any plans for that. But I was thinking I could play some games, some video games, some scary video games. Does anyone have any kind of ideas on what's good? Like what would be fun to play? I was also thinking about playing some Bloodborne. I played Bloodborne last Halloween, and I didn't finish it. I kind of went into the other following months playing some more Bloodborne, but even then I didn't complete it. So we could kind of get back into Bloodborne. Maybe we could do like a level 1 run. Maybe we can play something else. I don't know. We've got options. We've got options here. Okay, let's get the front. Let's get this panel here. Ashen, but I see your damn state. Oh, I read that already. Yeah. Yeah, Halloween. I might want to play some kind of game for Halloween. Maybe we can make like a Halloween themed model. Maybe we could do that. I don't really know what I would do necessarily, but I'm just trying to put together some ideas. I'd have to think about that pretty soon, so I could then kind of start making plans and getting what I need to do it. But maybe we could paint like a Halloween themed model or model kit. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe like a Warhammer model or something similar, just because it would be smaller, right? Because if I make like a Halloween Gundam model or something, like suddenly I've got this, you know, big Gundam model which is Halloween themed and is only relevant for for like 1 month a year. But yeah, so maybe something like that. Gonna lay down these colors, and then I want to really start getting into the weathering. But again, unfortunately, we might not be able to get to that today because we have to add on the decals. Maybe we can do that. At the very least, we could get some decals on. It's only we've only been streaming for a bit longer than 2 hours, so we've still got some time. Got some time before I turn into a pumpkin. I'm thinking we gotta paint this panel. I didn't want to, but I think it needs it. I think we gotta do it, guys. Actually, I'm gonna do an understated costume this Halloween, like maybe just a skull. Chapel Wars? Makeup Chapel. Chappelle. Dave Chappelle. Okay. Chapel? Chapel Wars? Dave Chappelle. I understand now. And beads suggesting that you're a shaman? What is this? What is this in reference to? Chapel from Spawn. Wow. Okay, so I'm double mixed up. Spawn. You want to be. You don't want to actually be the character from Spawn, but you want to have that kind of makeup. Okay, cool. Cool. Spawn. Why don't you go as Al Simmons before he turns into Spawn? What would that even be? You're just a guy. Just a guy. You don't want to go as John Leguizamo's John Leguizamo. Okay, what do we got here? Yeah, so I want to kind of look at all these little panels and kind of single some of them out with that differentiation, because I think that'll look really good. So for example here, we can kind of single this part out. Yeah, that looks... Oh! I got a big splorch of paint where it wasn't supposed to go. So just, while the paint is wet, you just sort of flood the area with wet paint. And then there you go. Actually, just like wearing scary makeup. Take any excuse. Scary, spooky. Spooky. Coming together. Yeah, it's you know, it takes time. It takes time for there it is. Wow. It takes a little time, but you get there. Get there when we get there. It'll be all worth it. Maybe. Yeah, when you kind of single out some of these panels, it kind of makes the thing look a little more technical, kind of. It's kind of neat. And I'm always constantly trying to assess if I've done enough, enough to really make that distinction, or is it too subtle? But I think we kind of have to not go in so heavy. We have to show a little restraint. So here's like a claw arm, and I did not paint the rest of this arm because I thought it might be fun to paint the rest of it a different color. You know, again, trying to make it look a little more junky, a little more worn. And so we'll do that. We'll paint it this. We'll go for this Baylor brown. I gotta shake it. Very, very close to pulling the trigger and buying a paint mixer. That'll just help. That'll just help a whole lot more in terms of like like getting the paint at the nice consistency that we want, and then just ready to just use it immediately rather than having to stop, shake. And I barely shook it. I barely shook it just now. It's feeling a little lazy. Shake that thing. Do it. Yeah. Do you have one, Carmi? I know that you were thinking about getting one. Very close. Very close to pulling the trigger. So yeah, we'll get this this part here. We'll color it something differently. I know Eddie has one. I saw, I don't know if my local store still has it, if they still had them in stock, but not too long ago they got a shipment of the Display ones, which I think was the one that you were talking about, or, yeah. So, I very well might pick that up. Not yet, I will when it's time to do the heavy painting. The heavy painting. Yeah, what's up next for you? What are you gonna work on next? The girl mecha one looks really, really good. Keep on forgetting what it's called. Ah! Such a bad memory. But yeah, that one was looking really, really nice. Oh, you believe so? Okay, okay. I think this looks okay, yellow. I'm wondering if I want to paint anything else yellow. I don't think that's a good idea, but we'll just kind of hold off on that for now. Actually, do have a resin figure I need to paint 10 months in the making. Do you think you're gonna paint it soon, Carmi? That could be fun. That's something that you printed yourself then, right? That could be fun. Was that the one? I think you mentioned it. It was like a Final Fantasy character. Okay, you know what? Let's look. I didn't paint this strip because the clip here was clipping it. So now that's gonna be a part of the design because I don't really want to paint it. Okay, let's actually assemble this guy just a little bit, just to see how it all is coming together. Let's take a look. Yeah. I think you did show me. Cool. Yeah, that would be really fun to work on. Do you think just the thought of working on it is like kind of a little nerve-wracking because it's probably it's probably kind of big compared to things that you've worked on in the past, and you want to make it look good, so do you think you're kind of like nervous about working on it? I would be for sure. Okay, yeah, let's see how this thing looks assembled, at least partially. Where's the arms? Which is the backpack? Hang on, one here. Carmi, yeah. Yeah, it's always one of those things where it's like, I don't wanna mess it up. I can relate. There's models that I have in my backlog, like Warhammer stuff, and I'm like just kind of nervous to work on it. It's because I don't really wanna potentially mess it up. Yeah, I think the gun needs a bit more, something a bit more. Oh, something. Which claw is this? Carmi, I think in a few weeks it'll get started. It's time to rip off the band-aid. Yeah, that'll be fun though. I think it'll be fun. You could always practice on something else. You could always get something else to practice on if you don't really want to kind of run the risk of botching your nice fancy model. You could always just get something else. I don't know what that something else might be. That's an option though. Ooh, I think I'm kind of liking how this looks. It's kind of cute. It's looking cute. I wasn't expecting it to look so kawaii. This is very kawaii. Wait, how does this go? Ooh, did I glue that? Is this shit glued? How's this coming out? Oh. Ooh. Okay. I need to get in there. Get in there. Oh. Okay, we're gonna have to get in there somehow. I think I may have glued these. Oh, no. Oh, I may have broke something. It's okay, guys. I can glue it. Nothing, tain't nothing a little glue can't fix. But maybe we'll just partially assemble this model for now, because that'll give us a better idea of the model holistically. Taint. Carmi. Yeah, I was thinking of printing in small scale to get the colors down. Yeah. That'd be cool. Okay, yeah. We're gonna just leave that part on there. And we're gonna start gluing some bits on. That way we can sort of get a better idea of the whole model now. And that'll help with the weathering, maybe? I don't know. I gotta do it. At this point I gotta do it, because this part is it did get bruck up. So I gotta glue it. Okay. Maybe super glue might be better? Super glue it is! There you go. Let's use super glue. Super glue, I can kind of like snap it off if I don't use too much glue. It's strong enough to stay, but if I really do need to take it off, I can kind of just take it off with a bit of force. If I use the cement glue, that creates like a melting bond, which, you know, is more permanent. And how do the hands go on this guy? So funny looking. Oh yeah, and there's the arm. Yeah, we'll leave the arm separate, but I just kind of want to see how it looks assembled. Get in there. There you go. Yeah, the hand needs a bit more love. And there's a canopy here, which I didn't really want to get assemble at this moment, so we'll just kind of leave it. Yeah. Here they are. They're my two blue boys. My two round blue boys. Nice. Looking pretty good. Kind of cute looking, actually. But they're going to get really, really weathered. Soon. Yeah, so the next thing I want to do is paint like the design stripes on them. There should be some kind of some markings that we can do for that, and I think we're gonna do that in orange. Orange looks great. Thank you, Carmi. Appreciate it. It's turning out pretty nice, I think. Let's do a little cleanup. Quick little cleanup, and we'll we'll get ready for the next part, because the next part is, I think I'm going to use a mask. Going to use some tape and kind of mask off some areas, and then paint them. And I don't really want a crisp line, like a crisp, clean line when we're masking, but I think it'll help just act as a guide anyways. And I gotta look at my reference too, so let's get that. Maybe we'll take a little break. But I carry expensive equipment which cannot handle the water at all. Oh, yeah, that would be a problem. Yeah, I'm a little confused now. Where are the extra parts that go the shoulder for this guy? Okay, give me a second. I gotta look for it. Unless I have it in a container somewhere. Oh, ta-da! Found it. It's right here. Nice. Okay, good. Let's just put that on. Yeah, but that sucks. It's actually kind of it's super rainy here in my part of the world, here in Canada, close to Ottawa. It's like misty and just overall yucky over here. So I sympathize. Okay, we gotta take out this. And we just gotta lay out the tape along here. And I think we're gonna tape, we're gonna do a line like right here. Or maybe a stripe just right along the top of the head. Maybe we could do something like that. The Mamba was a weird heavy shower which didn't show up on the weather apps. Oh really? It just came right out of the blue. That's always weird. It's always interesting how we take the weather for granted. We take the Weather Channel for granted that they are accurately reporting the news, but it can still happen where they're just wrong. That's happened to me a handful of times in like really clutch important moments where I'm really hoping. Like one time, me and Night Trap, we were selling some you know, extra stuff like household items and some video games and stuff at a swap meet, or no, at a flea market outdoors. And it was like for the whole week the weather report was like, it's gonna be great, it's gonna be awesome, don't worry about it guys, it's gonna be super awesome, beautiful day. And it rained on us, and everyone else at the flea market was super pissed too, because they're like, what the hell, they said it was gonna be great today. The weatherman, they said it was gonna be beautiful. What the hell happened? I do bat surveys and they get canceled with rain because bats fly down when it rains. Oh. Okay, let's begin. Oh, I'm gonna check my reference again and see what I can do about the arms. Actually, no, let's save that for another time. And what did I say? I wanted to start off with this orange, even though it's really, really super saturated. We can go with this and kind of tone it down. I gotta move all this stuff. My desk has gotten more crowded. Maybe we'll do a bit of a mix. This orange is really, really strong. And we can kind of tone it down with this Baylor Brown. Look at that. Baylor Brown, we'll tone it down. think that's gonna be okay. And where's my spongy implement? The Bomba might have chosen your house for hibernation, and the sound and light and heat woke it up. Hibernation is a very dangerous thing, at least if the torpor gets interrupted. So has that ever happened with something like a bear? Like a bear has woken up from hibernation and it's like really bad. It could possibly die. Has that ever happened with something like that? I actually didn't know that bats hibernated. I mean, yeah, I didn't even realize that. I mean, I guess if I thought about it for longer than a second, it would have made sense. Okay. Gonna use our trusty Sponge-chan. Sponge-chan! And I just want to make sure the tape is kind of nicely conforming to the shape here. And let's try it. Let's give it a shot. Don't really know how this is going to turn out, but let's give it a shot. The reason why I'm using this spongy method is it kind of helps to show the underneath layers, and it just helps it feel a little less slick, a little less polished, which is kind of the feeling I want to come across with these models. And we're gonna have to build this up. And any kind of design all of this has to happen first before we then move on to the weathering, which I think is gonna be the next time. If I can add on the decals today, I'll consider that a very productive day today. But and I can go in with a brush to kind of make it a little better. But for now, let's just do it this way. And yeah, so I think the body is going to have to get a design too, but I just really don't know what just yet. It's a bit of an experiment for now. Okay. I think we could probably do a stripe here. And I'll just paint that on. The Bomba, a bear getting interrupted would probably be fine, since the bat is so small it's more fragile. Okay, makes sense. I think bears can survive in winter regardless, since they could still hunt and scavenge and prey on weak animals, but a bat needs insects like flies. Oh, right, which don't fly around in the winter. That makes sense. Yowza! What's up, Yowza? How's it going? By the way, Yowza, beautiful job on your armored core model there. Really, really nice job. Saw some pictures. What's next for you? The Bomba, if you take into account that bats can eat over 1,000 mosquitoes a night, really? Holy shit. You'll realize it's quickly that they're screwed without their food. Yeah, jeez. So, do you think in a situation like that, would it be better to like take it to what do they call that? Like an animal, someplace where where they can take care of wild animals, or should I, you know, what's the ideal thing to do in that situation? I don't really know. Yowza, thanks. Going to work on the RG Gundam. Oh, right. Next, when I do a build stream. Cool. Exciting. Yeah, I know you were saying that it was like a pain to work on that one. Your armored core model, White Glint. But, you know, the results turned out pretty nice, so all in all, it was worth it, I guess. You have to suffer. You have to suffer for your art. Oh yeah. So let's do a stripe on the arm here. Kind of running out of paint here. Let's get some more of this orange. I've assembled this model partially, but I will disassemble it to kind of get to these areas a little easier. It's just that, like, for me at least, it's a little easier for me to get a better, like, holistic view of the model and understand where to kind of place some of the color choices and stuff when it's assembled, when I can see it completely rather than as little bits and pieces. I kind of go between both. Forearm here has orange, and the top of the camera unit has some orange. There's a bit of orange here on the back thing. I don't like that in particular, so I'm not going to do that. Let's see, what else can we do? And there's the central stripe, which I think looks pretty nice. At the end of the day, I'll just kind of go with my gut. Whatever feels good, whatever looks right. Yeah, okay, so we can do this central camera unit. And yeah, like, the pandas were super picky about the food, like the specific kind of bamboo that they ate. And it was something like we had this, the Toronto Zoo contracted like a bamboo forest, I don't know, like a bamboo plantation in the States to ship and grow bamboo for the pandas. But it was like, I don't have the specific numbers, but it was like they would ship like daily 100 bamboo trees, right? Or you know, the plants. But then the panda themselves would look over them and choose only a very small fraction of those bamboo plants to actually eat. But they had to ship all of it in bulk because the panda needed like it needed to have options. This is crazy. It's like, just eat the damn bamboo, for God's sakes. Just eat the damn bamboo. And then they had babies, the pandas, and it was like they're still property of the Chinese government. They're not like Canadian or anything. Oh yeah, and they had their own Chinese handlers. They did not have they didn't actually have the Toronto Zoo manage and maintain the pandas. They didn't have the Toronto Zoo involved with them all that much. It was all sort of handled by their own handlers from China. I don't know, I thought that was interesting. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because they probably know how to deal with them best, but at the same time, I don't know, something about that seemed a little extreme. I don't know. Car, you eat it. You eat it. So picky eaters. I used to be a picky eater. I guess I still am. But yeah, I used to be a picky eater. Still not a big fan of ketchup. I used to just avoid anything that was ketchup. But nowadays I'll eat it. I'll eat it begrudgingly. I wonder if I should paint those stripes. I don't think I should paint stripes everywhere on the model. I think that's too much, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's a good idea to paint, like, the same kind of stripe here and here and here and here and here. I don't think that's a good idea. So let's take it off. Let's take it off and see. Oh. Ooh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah, so it's not fully clean. It's not really, really super sharp. There's a bit of, like, crossover. But I kind of like that. It kind of looks good. The Bomba, the biggest problem with them pandas is that the female goes into estrus once every year for only 12 to 36 hours. Holy shit. So if the male doesn't decide to mate it in that period, you gotta wait another year. The timing, you gotta have some frame perfect mating timing there. 12 to 36 hours. Gotta get in there. That the male panda's gotta dive in there at the right time. The Bomba looks neat. Oh, thanks. Yeah, yeah. So here's an example. Can get a nice close-up look. And yeah, you can see how it isn't like fully like sharp, right? And it's not super slick, but I think that's kind of what we want. Like, yeah, you can kind of see the right there. There's a bit of like a bit of bleed. But I think, yeah, I think it looks good. That's kind of what we want. And like I said, I don't really want to overdo it with more orange. Quite like the dirty look. Yeah, yeah, that's sort of the aesthetic of these models, and we're gonna get a whole lot dirtier as well as we go along. They're gonna get much more weathered. So hold your horses. But yeah, that's really funny. The male panda. It's like, I don't feel like it today. I don't want it today. It's like, it's your chance, man. It's your chance. You shoot your shot. Literally, you've got 36 hours. What is it? You got 12 to 36 hours, bro, to shoot your shot. Like, I don't want to. I don't feel like it. Why do I have to do it today? I'll do it later. Yeah, I think right here we're gonna do another stripe. Can I wrap this around? I think this might be hard to do. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. Yeah. I think I'll still paint it by hand, though, because I don't think it'll look good if I use Sponge Chan. Sponge Chan. You've probably seen the videos of pandas rolling around and falling out of trees, yeah. And it's supposed to be cute. I was like, they're cute, they're cute. The Bomba, they're my second most useless animal in the world, only behind the seahorse. What is so useless about the seahorse? I have no idea. Heard it here, folks. The Bomba is anti-seahorse. He has an anti-seahorse agenda. He's also anti-panda. Panda, panda. It'll be really fun. It'll be really fun to show you guys when this is all done, how it looks. And I think we're gonna go with white. The white sticker. The white water slide. But what number do we want? What number indeed? 0? Do we like 0? I think I like 0. Let's apply the 0. I'll put the 0 on one shoulder, and then I'll put this wolf on the other one. Because it does, the color of this thing here, it kind of reminds me of Space Wolves. Do you remember that, the Bomba? I don't think you play 40k all that much, but do you know, like, that Space Wolf gray color? Kind of looks like this, at least the old color of Space Wolves. I think that's what I'll do. So, and I'll apply this this wolf one. on the shoulder here. I'll just get a couple out. I'll get oof, having trouble getting the words out of my mouth, but yes, I'll get a couple of these out for the future. This one will be good too. I think this looks kind of Space Wolfish as well. There is a lore for this, for these models. There is sort of like an official color scheme. There's an official sort of symbol usage. You know, certain models will have this kind of color scheme, and then are then and then they use this specific kind of decal and symbols, but I'm not really going to pay attention to that. I'm not going to pay attention to that. We'll just use whatever we like. Do you know what I'm saying? I'll get a brush. Didn't know about Space Wolves. Google them. I get where you're coming from. Yeah. It's kind of like that. Yeah, I used to love the look of the Space Wolves. I actually didn't have any models of Space Wolves, but I just loved how they looked. I loved the idea of these Space Marines wearing like big, bulky, super power armor, but then they have like fur over the armor and chains, and they have kind of like this Viking kind of look to them. I thought that was always fun. Okay, we'll just wet this area here, and we'll slide this on. See if it actually slides on. Let's see. Might need a bit more. The bomb of my limit of 40k knowledge is not in the Space Marines. Always thought they were pretty bland. Yeah, I think the lore of like how the Space Marines came to be, and all of the stuff with the Emperor and like 30k or the Horus Heresy, that's pretty interesting. But I'm more of an Eldar guy. I have a bunch of Eldar models that I still need to paint. I like orcs too. Orcs are always fun. Always enjoyed the orcs because they just love carnage. They just love to fight and battle, which is fun. I just realized I need Q-tips. I don't have any Q-tips on me. Shoot. Okay, let's just use this. Kind of pat it down. This looks aligned. This looks aligned enough. And there we go. There's the first one. There we go. And feeling pretty good, so let's put on some more. I do have the Decal Softener, which I don't really use too often, but let's put some now. Especially when you have cool stuff like Chaos, Necrons, yeah. My brother has a Necron fire team. Gits, yeah, I love the orcs. They're just fun. They're just a fun-loving bunch. And the orcs, they don't really care if they lose, because so long as they're fighting, that's all they want to do. They're just winning in life, so long as they fight. Okay. Yeah, I have this stuff, this like Decal Softener, but I don't really use it too often. I don't know if I'm even using it properly, but anyways, let's just let that chill for a sec. And we want to put the wolf symbol. Where do we want the wolf symbol? On the head? On the side? On the kneecap? It's not enough space on the kneecap. I think we could put it here. Yeah, let's do that. And then there's a bunch of smaller icons that we can put. And then yeah, we're gonna wrap things up shortly, guys. So maybe I will say my thanks and appreciation to everyone right now. Thank you, La Bamba, for hanging out. Carmi, Bamba also subbed yesterday. Appreciate that. Don't know if I said that. Eddie subbed. Thank you. Appreciate it. everyone that's come in and just hung out and chatted, like Mary Trunks, Cantuan, Bacon. You guys know who you are. Just slowly working away at this model. And like I said, I kind of want to finish this up. If I can finish this up like this month with the time that we have left, I'll be pretty happy. That'll be mission complete. Mission complete. If we can do that. There you go, there's the next one. There's a 0. There's a wolf. Space wolf. And let's see. What does this say? It's so fine print. Starter. It's too fine to read. I can't read it. Okay. Well, I guess we could add on another number to this. I don't know what I want this 0 to denote. If that's like the number of the squad, or maybe that's the number of this unit, and then this guy will be like number 1. Maybe we'll make this guy number 1. You're number 1. Let's do that. The bomb, I keep looking at Tyranids. Whenever I'm in the Games Workshop store, of course I wanted to play some games, but ended up chilling there. Yeah, I appreciate hanging out. Thanks for hanging out. What would you be playing? Total War? Yeah, the Tyranids look fun. I actually am pretty interested in the Gene Stealer cults for Warhammer 40k. Those miniatures look amazing. There's a lot of really great miniatures. I need to stick to one thing though. So if I do end up getting more Warhammer 40k miniatures, that is, I'll probably get some Eldar, because I do have some that I should work on. Yeah, let's put this number 1 on, and then we'll wrap things up. There's a number of other decals that I need to put on, but we'll stick to this. We'll just have this for now, and then I'll do the rest later. But so far, I'm pretty happy with the results of this. It's looking good. We're gonna. It definitely needs a lot more attention, more love and attention, but we're getting there. So yeah, here's unit number 1. You're number 1. There you go. 1 and 2. It looks shiny now, but that'll kind of go down when we add a layer of top coat to it. And so the next time you guys see me streaming this, all the decals will be on. There might be a few more stripes and stuff that we'll add on to, but all the decals will be placed, and then we'll move on to the weathering, because I know Carmi was looking forward to that. And I thought I could do that today, but there just wasn't. I needed to do all this other stuff first. The Bomba, I downloaded Cyberpunk 2077 while I was working. I finally bought a new GPU so I can run it on 1440 monitor after waiting so long. I tried, but it only got 5 frames. Ew, that sucks, dude. Yeah. So would you say then to this day there's still issues with the Cyberpunk? My brother actually recently started playing that game on PlayStation 5. And it looks and runs pretty well, but yeah, that really sucks on the PC side of things, that it's still kind of messed up. The Bomba not really playable, so I'd probably continue my Corn campaign. Right. Yeah, cool. Yeah. I would like to play some Total War Warhammer 3 someday. Maybe next time there's a sale, I might pick it up. I can't play it on my computer. I'd have to play it on my brother's computer, because my computer is it's a potato. It's a potato. But, you know, it's my potato. I love it. Love it all the same. Let's try and flatten this out, because I do notice a bit of a wrinkle in the decal, but that's okay. That one looks good. The arm is a little loosely placed, but kind of leave it for now. Leave that for now. I'm running a 7-year-old 1060, which is meant for 1080p gaming max. And with 3 generations of gaming graphics earlier in mine. Yeah, mine might be even older than that. I'm not sure, but I mean, it's fine. It works. Like, I can play some games on it, just not like cutting edge games. The other thing is, like, Cyberpunk might not be a very optimized game. It's kind of has its flaws, right? Like, that will have to be addressed. Maybe when the DLC comes out, maybe they'll have like a patch. I mean, it's been out for like a bit more than a year at this point, and it still has some issues, which is pretty nutty. Mom, I've been surviving, but it was high time to give it a nice retirement. Yeah. So let's take a look. Fixed a lot of it already. Yeah. I think so. So that's actually looking pretty nice with the decals, and we'll put a bit more. And the anime, oh, I haven't watched the anime, but everyone's been talking about it. Sounds like it's really, really good. Yeah, so I think that's going to do it for me, everyone. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you all for watching. You guys know